Hey everybody, I did want to give you a quick update on one of the videos we did last week about Judicial Watch and their lawsuit against the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, specifically our friends Fani Willis and Dexter Q. Bond. So we do have an update. So just to give you a quick backstory, if you don't remember, there was a lawsuit filed by Judicial Watch, which is an organization, to get some records from Fani Willis's office after they denied them their requests through the Open Records Act. This is very similar to what Ashley and John Merchant had to do when they were denied records, also through the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Both sets of, they're separate and distinct lawsuits, but both of them had to file civil lawsuits against the District Attorney's Office. In the Judicial Watch lawsuit, Fulton County never replied to the lawsuit. So it went into default judgment. And then recently the judge issued an order on that default judgment telling Fani Willis's office that they had to comply within 5 days. So now we have learned that they have gotten a response from Fani Willis's office, but no documents. So Fani Willis's office said, with regard to one category, which was any kind of communications, documentation between the district attorney's office and Jack Smith, who is the special prosecutor against the former president in Washington, and we know that case was recently dismissed. The Fulton District Attorney's Office is denying that there are any kind of documents that could be released. So I'm waiting to see whether Judicial Watch has some of that same stuff in their back pocket that Ashley and John Merchant had in theirs, which is to say, hey, we actually got some things from a different source. And so we know that you're not telling the truth because here are some of the documents that we know you have and you didn't release. So we'll be waiting to see whether that happens. The other category that Judicial Watch was looking for would be any communications between the District Attorney's Office and the January 6th committee. And Fani Willis's response was that they didn't have anything that could be considered public documentation that needed to be released. And they cited the Georgia Code sections, which say that documents that are for pending investigations and litigation and prosecution don't have to be released. And they cited the case number, which is the former president's prosecution here in Fulton County. So what that tells everybody is it appears that there was some communication between the DA and the January 6th committee, but they're not releasing it because we know that even though right now the case against President Trump here in Fulton County is on pause while we're waiting for the Court of Appeals to rule on the issue of whether Fani Willis's office should be disqualified, that prosecution is still technically pending. So that just shows you maybe there has been some coordination between Fani Willis's office and the January 6th committee. And I do want to make something else clear. Let me just tell you one more thing really quick. There is also another date coming up, December 20th, which is where the judge had noted that that would be a time to discuss whether or not Judicial Watch should receive attorney's fees for having to file this lawsuit to get Fani Willis's office to respond appropriately. And we are also still waiting for Judge Krause in the Merchant lawsuit on open records to issue her final ruling, even though we know that she is going to rule in favor of the Merchants. We're waiting to see whether Fani Willis's office is going to have to pay attorney's fees to the Merchants as well. And so what I also wanted to say, just because I've seen some of the comments go by, is my purpose here on TikTok with regard to these videos with the District Attorney's Office is not to lift up the former president or put down the former president. I know there are plenty of places on TikTok, thousands of them actually, where you can go for that kind of content. I am trying to focus more on what is happening here in Fulton County with regard to the questions of some behavior and spending in the District Attorney's Office, the jail, how the people of Fulton County have been mistreated, and try to see if we can have some positive changes there. So I'm not super interested in weighing into national politics. I will tell you, of course, because there is this interwoven connection that we found between the YSL case and potentially the former president's case. Yes, we have to talk about it, and with open records, like with Judicial Watch, but I'm here to just try to unwind this knot. I'm not trying to advance a particular national political position. So I don't mind if people debate in my comments as long as it's civil. But if it gets nasty or racist or anything like that, I'm just going to delete and block you because I don't like that stuff. So That's it, and I will keep you updated.